Beautiful, artsy Austin, the capital of Texas, and maybe the capital of barbecue. I met pitmaster Big Moe Cason at one of his favorite hangouts, La Barbecue. For Academy Sports and Outdoors, I'm Marty Smith, and this is Traditions. First and very simply, how did your passion for barbecue begin?
Well, for me, you know, my grandmother had 17 children, and growing up, I was always around cousins, aunts, uncles, and we always had get-togethers, so I was always around food. And so my passion for cooking was inspired by my grandmother. My mother worked 2 jobs. She was a seamstress, worked all day, left 4 or 5 in the morning, didn't come back till night. So my grandmother watched my sister and I. My grandmother didn't have a lot of money, but she was rich inside here, and she cooked everything from scratch. And so when she cooked and we ate, and I just loved the flavors, everything she made. And as I became a young man growing up, I was fortunate enough to go into the United States Navy and served my time on the USS Missouri, USS Peleliu.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem, thank you, my friend. And I got out, and the first thing I bought was a little Brinkman little grill. A little grill I bought, and I just started cooking it up in my neighborhood. At that time, I didn't see TV shows about barbecue. You know, up to that point, it was just us in the neighborhood battling against neighbors, you know, who had the best ribs, who had the best this, that, you know. And for me, I did my first cook-off in 2006, and I was hooked. One-man team, and I did like 20-something contests that year, and I was just like, this is where I need to be.
I was gonna ask that question. When did you know that your passion was your calling?
When I did my first cook-off. I was just amazed by pulling my little truck and my little rig into this contest that had 70 teams, and the names like Johnny Trigg and Myron Mixon, these individuals that I see on TV, or Tuffy Stones, and I'm thinking, man, I'm competing against these guys.
I know you don't want to give away your secrets, but give me a general answer. What's the secret to being great at barbecue?
Low and slow, taking your time, giving great seasonings, smoke, cooking great tender barbecue. That is most important. Your flavor is your flavor. You're from the East Coast, I'm from central part of the country, so what I like, it's different maybe from what you like. It's all good.
So we're in Texas, Austin. What separates Texas barbecue from North Carolina or Virginia or Kansas? What makes Texas different?
Down here is simplicity. Most true barbecue Texas restaurants will have salt and black pepper, and it was amazing to just take those 2 simple ingredients and coax some of the best tasting barbecue I've ever had in my life.
In Texas, football is religion.
Oh, yeah.
How would you describe what you've experienced from that perspective?
Oh, I love it. I love Texas. I love how passionate they are about the game. You know what I mean? The whole state of Texas. I mean, it is a culture. I've been all over this country, man, in different places, but Texas, man, football is king. Football, man, it's amazing. Hats off, because I just think Texas and football is one-on-one.
When you taste barbecue that's not yours, how difficult is it to be objective when you're tasting someone else's barbecue?
Everybody has their own flavor. When I do barbecue classes, I tell people, your flavor's your flavor, as long as it complements the protein. The big thing is, a lot of people have missteps, is texture. That is the #1 thing, because if you're cooking ribs, if you're cooking pork shoulder, if you're cooking brisket, if you do not nail texture first, no matter how great it tastes, it's gonna be a failure. Because people are gonna remember what? It's tough, or it's mushy. So you gotta nail texture. That is so paramount. For me, I tell people when they first starting out, don't get caught up in all the 7, 18, 14 rubs and blends. Take a piece of meat, throw a little salt on there, throw a little pepper, and just throw it in the pit. I don't care if it's ribs, I don't care if it's chicken, I don't care if it's brisket. It's all you. And throw it in the pit and cook it correctly. Once you master the texture, everything else you can build on later on.
Where are we today?
We're at La Barbecue. When I made my way down to Austin and I had my first beef rib, it was at La Barbecue.
Changed your life?
Changed my life. I said, this is what I need to be doing. My friend John Lewis was the pit master, and I remember him bringing out a plate of his normal spread, and it blew me away because I've never seen nothing like that up close. And I remember taking that beef rib and biting it and how moist it was, and it just changed my life. I said, this is how I need to be cooking. You know
How has this business grown?
It's been amazing. You know, Texas barbecue in general has really pushed nationally barbecue. People are trying to emulate that Texas flavor, because I'm telling you, that barbecue, it'll change it.
Oh, we got a little bit.
Oh, here we go, a little pickled onions. Oh yeah, this is classic Texas.
Marty Smith.
Corey.
Nice to meet you, Corey.
Moe Cason.
Nice to see you. These are the La Chopped with pulled pork for you guys.
La Chopped with pulled pork, and we should dig right in right now?
Please, please, please.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting cold.
See how it's seasoned?
Oh, good.
See how that pork is tender? Seasoned just right. It's got that Texas pop to it. Not overly sweet at all. Savory. Black pepper. Coleslaw. That's some good eating right there, boy.
I'm real big on there being coleslaw on my barbecue.
Yeah. Now, are you a mayo or vinegar-based coleslaw guy?
I'm a vinegar guy.
I am too.
All day,
That's my
twice
jam.
on Sunday, baby.
Yeah.
I grew up in the South.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was mayo.
Oh, yeah.
So I transitioned to vinegar.
That's a fantastic sandwich. Fantastic.
I don't have any on my face, do I?
Yeah, you got some on your face. It's got the crunch from the slaw. It's got the well rendered out, great pulled pork that's in it.
I think that's what I love about having slaw on my barbecue is the crunch.
It's a balance, it's a texture thing, exactly.
Well, I want to see how it happens. Will you take us back to where all the action is?
For sure.
Right. All right, man. What's your name?
Miguel.
Miguel. I'm Marty.
How you doing, Miguel?
That's Moe. I see what we got here. What are we gonna do here today?
We're gonna trim some fat off. We're just fat off. We're trying to leave a quarter of an inch of fat off because people like to that.
Okay,
that.
quarter of an inch of fat.
Yeah, you get that's called sugar cookie when you get cooking right. Yeah.
Sugar cookie.
That's what it's called. Yeah, when you render that fat out real nice, it ends up taking on a nice sticky, sticks to your teeth.
You got that. You've done that before, Miguel. You got that down. All right, Moe. If this is in front of you,
Well,
this meat.
This is a full packer. This is what you call a full packer. So this is the point. Point stops about right here, and then the flat. So if you take it, Miguel, you pick it up, flip it over. There's a fat seam, which is right here, which separates the point and the flat. This is where all the burn, if you go to Kansas City and you get the so-called burn-ins, they come from this area here. You cannot get burn-ins from a flat area. But once you render this point down, it ends up being beautiful. What's great about La Barbecue, they cook these briskets to where they're just like butter. I mean, literally like butter, man. So everything from the flat and the point is just absolutely wonderful. Once you render that fat out real nice, it ends up taking on a sticky, soft, gelatinous texture, and that's what you want.
What's going on, man?
Hey,
Marty Smith.
Right.
Nice to meet
what's
you.
up, man? Moe Cason, buddy. How you doing?
Loads on. So, what's the importance of the Firebox?
Well, what's sweet about this is a 1,000-gallon smoker, so you have to have a properly sized firebox in order for it to flow correctly. That's why the briskets will look all consistent in color and great, and then you just don't throw sticks in there. Have you seen here, he's making stacking sticks crisscross, so therefore they all take off, and you want the stick to burn like this. You don't want it to smolder. If it's smoldering, therefore it's going to imparting bad smoke over your proteins.
Any specific type of wood?
Depending where you're at. Now, if you go out to West Texas, it's going to be a lot more mesquite. If you go down by Houston, it's going to be a little more mesquite. But you get about this area around here, it's going to be post oak, might be a little pecan, depending on the pitmaster or what they want. But post oak is the king here.
All right, Mike, show us the magic.
Oh, beautiful. Yes.
It is beautiful.
These things are amazing. These are 1,000-gallon smokers. And the way they're designed, they are consistent from the beginning all the way to the back. And they'll run a little hotter towards the fire end where the firebox is, but other than that, they're very consistent. If you look, all of these briskets are unique, are very, very consistent in color. That tells you alone that that's a very balanced pit. Everything is balanced, and that's why these pits, you can load them up full of briskets, and every single one of them will be consistent in color. It's
and
awesome.
you have memories of these.
Yes, I remember coming here and seeing John for the first time. John Lewis, he had a cigarette in his hand, he had some cut off. Felt like I was back in 1975, man. He was kneeled over and he was building a bed of charcoal, of fire sticks, building a bed, getting ready to fire up this pit, actually, this pit right here. And it's just, that's how I first came to La Barbecue and seen what the first thing he was doing that. He's building a fire for the brisket for the next day.
They have grown quite a bit.
Yes, they have.
Yes, they have.
Yes, they have.
It's impressive, man. Thanks for showing us.
Hey, no problem.
Now close it up before we ruin them. The history of Texas barbecue is rich and authentic. One of the great stories of the South. And La Barbecue is near the center of that story. I learned it firsthand from one of the greats. Big Moe Cason exemplifies the impact of food and fellowship throughout the South and its hard-working, country-loving people. It's folks like Big Moe who live their passion that make America beautiful. Texans love two things, barbecue and football.